I think that consistency is a double-edged sword, and in some cases it does more harm than good. And I've had a lot of experiences where I thought that just being consistent, if I was just consistent in this one thing, whether it was the gym or making money online, um, I will eventually get there. It technically is true, but it's true in one aspect because consistency is basically just neutral. It amplifies whatever you're doing. So like, if your strategy is good, like if you have a strategy that actually works, consistency helps. But if you have a strategy that's bad, strategy that will get you to the wrong destination, obviously consistency makes it worse faster because yeah, sure you're doing it over and over again and you're being consistent, but it'll get you to the path that wasn't actually suited for you. And thing is, like, people like confuse consistency with progress, right? So showing up daily feels productive, but results come from feedback and adjustment. Like in my first year of going to the gym, like I wasn't that consistent, but I was consistent in the stage that I was at. Like I was going like 3 days a week, 3 to 4 days a week, but I was just consistent in going to the gym. I wasn't consistent in diet or sleep or other aspects, and I wasn't iterating on how slow or how fast or no how basically how slow my progress was going, because I thought that if I just show up to the gym every single day, or not every single week, a few times a week, I will eventually get to my goal. And I didn't even have a clear goal back then, but I really really made like little to no progress because even though I was consistent in the gym every single week, I didn't take time to iterate and adjust and find feedback on why certain aspects isn't working as much as I wanted it to. The thing is that consistency can kind of turn into cope and avoidance. So it's easier to stay consistent than it is to admit that something isn't working. It's easier to just hide behind routines just because it's a consistent routine that you can stay to for a period of time than making hard changes and realizing that it might not actually work as you expected. And the quote of or the mindset of at least I'm consistent, it just becomes a comfort zone, and you actually go farther worse than if you were to iterate, or if you weren't just even consistent at the routine that didn't get you to your exact goals. Basically, the main culprit of consistency being a detriment to your progress is that if you're just consistent without direction, it's basically just motion. At the same time, like rigidity kills destroys growth, right? Like the market changes, whatever you're doing, like the market changes, everything changes, your body changes, your situation changes, and if you don't adapt, consistency just becomes a burden, and it just makes you more stubborn. And the best performers are consistent in effort but not in method. In a method that may or may not work, it doesn't matter if you're consistent because it might eventually end up having you in a worse position than you were before. The way I use consistency to make sure that I actually get results out of being consistent is having a formula where consistency is included within iteration. So it will basically look like you be consistent in the plan you have for now. You measure on it. You measure the progress you made, um, how much time you showed up, how much reps, etc. If it's the gym, you adjust it based on how aligned it is to your direction. You iterate on the plan and then you repeat and you're consistent on that iteration instead of just using consistency as a cope to just not iterate, because you could be consistent, but if you are consistent in the wrong things, it puts you in a worse position, like I've said before, than you were when you started. So consistency only works when you have iterations and if you know what you're doing. And yeah, that's what really changed me, and that's what really got me getting more progress than if I was consistent and then I started to not be consistent because it wasn't for me, or I felt like I wasn't good at it, but in reality I was just missing iterations. So yeah.